The FBI Director James Comey told us yesterday that this earlier investigation of Mateen was a full 10-month investigation by the FBI and that there was no evidence at that time that he had committed a crime or directly supported terrorism. And that is the legal standard that the FBI is held to. Sandra.
All right, Catherine Herridge, thank you. Ambassador, I want to get right to you. This was not the only target, we're learning.
Well, I think that's very interesting. I think the connection with the suicide bomber also raises the question whether there are further connections, whether there is a broader network here. Because what this indicates is somebody very serious about his mission. And the notion that there might be larger linkages, that it's not homegrown, although I think that distinction is fallacious in any event, but the extent to which this threat continues is something that that definitely needs to be focused on. I think the FBI for 7.5 years has been operating under constraints. I don't think you enhance your career at the FBI if you find evidence of Islamic terrorism, and I think that's at least one possible explanation for booting these earlier contacts.
And you know, the whole concept, if you're an FBI agent and the president, the first thing he does, or his attorney general, is say, this isn't about Islam, it's not about Muslims. I mean, the message from the commander-in-chief is, you know, don't be politically incorrect. And that's what led to Fort Hood. And in this situation, you know, on Justice the other night, I had a guy by the name of James Zirkle on. It was a Justice exclusive. I think it was 1 in the morning. But he talked about high school, how the guy was cheering when the planes hit the towers. He talked about the fact that he was always making believe, you know, that he was an airplane, that he was related to Osama bin Laden, that he was actually thrown out of school. So if you look at this guy's history and the FBI pulling back, I mean, I get you can't charge him with a crime, but we must change that reasonable suspicion and keep people on a list so that they cannot buy guns. And that's the problem. Had they continued, he might not have gotten that AR-15.
Well, that becomes a really tough thing, though, because then you're saying that you want to prevent someone from buying a gun who hasn't been convicted of a crime. I mean, I totally understand in this situation that you see how that would have possibly prevented this. I guess he could have also made a pressure cooker, and you're going down the road of taking away people's rights who haven't been convicted.
There's no question. When I signed pistol permits, when I was a judge and people wanted to buy a gun, I could say to them, what do you want the gun for? I could make a discretionary decision that you don't get one because you seem a little off, you don't have the right reason. You know, I'm a gun owner. I love the NRA. I mean, I ended up speaking before them in Houston. But at the same time, what you want to make sure of is these people with a history like this kid who got thrown out of school for that reason, investigated by the FBI, then visit Saudi Arabia twice.
Right.
And you know, come on.
10 days at a time.